Listen, half of these books I shouldn't have even touched them with a 10-foot pole. Actually, that's I'm exaggerating, but still. I read these in middle school and I don't remember half of them, but I do remember that I loved them. I was obsessed. I made my entire personality out of these books. Anyways, I would die on a hill for these books, even though I don't remember half of what happens in them. And I read them like 10 years ago. Wait, 10 years ago? Seven years ago. 6 years ago. That's one. Second, one of my TikToks got 1 million views. Could you imagine that? It's pretty great. Subscribe to my TikTok. Please subscribe. I'm lonely. It would mean a lot. Also, I'm ranting in my bedroom alone, and I feel very weird about that. Anyways, I have 4 books that I read religiously. These 4 books, I think half of them no one knows about. No one talks about these online. Like half of them I don't even know if they even exist to the rest of the world, and I'm just freaking crazy and I'm the only one who has a copy of them. Because like I literally don't see anyone else talking about them. I don't know. First one. I'm gonna start with one that I think people talk about, okay? Because it recently had a movie. Specifically this one, okay? Specifically this book. I don't know what kind of chokehold this had. I have 2 copies of this. I have 2 copies of this book. Where is he? I don't know. Yeah. Why do I don't remember. Where did this come from? I don't know. Where's the cover? Anyways, this book is like about these 2 girls that are from like a normal village that get admitted to this like school for like good and evil. And basically they just have to live out like a fairy tale. But you know, obviously things go wrong and all that stuff. And welcome to the series. Like there's 2 different schools, school good and evil, and like everyone was like, oh yeah, Sophie should go like to like school of good, and I guess that's supposed to go to school of evil, but they switched and that's the plot. It was pretty good. I actually really liked it. The princess and all that stuff, fairy tales, Brothers Grimm and all that stuff doesn't really get told in this way. Kind of gives me Descendants vibes, and Descendants was fire, so I don't know. Maybe I had to think for age gaps when I was literally prepubescent, but this book, I read this like 3 times or something like that. And I have 2 books. I don't know if you heard me say that like 2 seconds ago. I have 2 of these. I swear to God, I don't even remember anything that happened in these books. Like I'm literally like Agatha. I remember this woman. You know what I remember? I remember watching the movie months ago and trying to pinpoint exactly what everyone's names were. I was like, oh, that one's T-Bone or something. I don't know. Tedros? How do you say his name? I still don't know to this day. I said it differently every time I read through this book. I remember that. You know what I remember? Spoilers. I don't know. Something about him proposing to her, to Sophie, every freaking day. Hit different. I don't know. I was dumb. I don't know if you knew that. But this book, it really brought me back. When they made that movie, they were telling us that they were gonna make that for like years. When I picked this up, they were talking about it. So it was like 67 years ago. They were saying, oh, we're gonna make a movie out of this. And it now just finally happened. I'm like, all right. I would have loved if this happened like 4 years ago when I'm not in crippling debt and have depression and anxiety. And I almost didn't care about fairy tales anymore. But, you know, at least it's here, I guess, right? Gotta love Agatha, though. Next. This is a book that people should talk about more. Because it was just better. Honestly, it was so good. This is a book that I actually remember, like, a lot of the plot of. The Immortal Rules. Julie Kagawa, okay? The chokehold this author had on me. I have 2 other series by this author, but this one's my favorite. I don't know if people know this, but it's about vampires. It's basically how like vampires took over the world, but it's not just vampires, it's also like these creatures that are also like literally terrorizing humans and stuff. So humans literally have to live in the protection of vampires, but obviously the vampires are like, what are you gonna give us? We're better than you. So they have to give blood and stuff, but they're like super poor. Like it's amazing how they even still have humans in this book, because like everyone's just sickly. Like no one has food. And if you do like have food, like you have to like give out like so many liters of blood. It's insane. But like I'm surprised there was no like disease and everyone hasn't died yet. You know who I had a crush on in this book? I don't even remember his name. I remember Jackal, the freaking villain. Oh my god. He was freaking insane. He wasn't even a villain. Like there was another person in the trilogy that was doing some stupid shit. In the story is like basically a girl gets turned into a vampire by this guy who's like basically her master at that point. The odds that you get turned into a vampire by another vampire is like pretty low apparently. Like there's a higher chance you turn into those freaking monsters that like lurk around the world than it is to turn into a vampire. But she took a chance because she was about to freaking die. Is it Carmen? Cameron? I remember his name was freaking stupid. But yeah, I really love this trilogy. Honestly, it was really bloody for like, you know, middle school stuff. Just imagine these two books. I read this. I was like, oh, fairy tales, but a little dark. It's like, oh, that's okay. To this stabs guts. What was I doing? I need a movie of that. That's what I need a movie of. Make it happen. Next book. People should know about this book. I've heard it being talked about on Book Talk, I think. Okay. Why did I read this? And why did I read only this book? I don't usually read angel books. Fallen Angel, my mistake. I remember his name very clearly. Freaking Patch. I remember very clearly that he has a 2.3 GPA. And he's like an undercover, like, he's a fallen angel, but he's like undercover in a high school for some fucking reason. For some freaking reason. Why is it with supernatural and being in a high school? What is so cootie like of a university? Why is that so bad? Why is it so bad to have an age gap, but the age gap is like at least you're like 20, right? Instead of freaking like 16, whatever. And that thing that TikTok always talks about. Patch's eyes were black orbs. Go back to Wattpad. That's enough. But it was so good. I don't know why. It was weird. It was like chapter 1 started with like her being like Nora being like in like not phys ed, health, and we were talking about sex and the reproduction system. I'm like, bro, like that's insane. That's something else. And like Patch was being so inappropriate. And I'm like, honey, aren't you like, I don't even know how old he is, but like you're freaking old. If you were used to be an angel, you're freaking old. Like why are you freaking low-key predatory? I don't know. Did anyone else get that vibe? For a hardcover, it was only $20. I don't even think I bought this at the original price. I think I got this off like Value Village. That shit was my haven when I had no money and I was a broke ass motherfucker. And yet I was reading this predatory ass shit. It was fun though. I loved it. I don't know, man. Nora something else. She snatched something. Good for her. I feel like he has some cheating vibes. I didn't read the other three books. I didn't read the other books. I only read those books. I have Crescendo, which is the second book, but I didn't read it. This is the last book. I'm 100% sure no one's heard of this series. I haven't even finished it. I'm on book 3, and I've been on book 3 for a long time. Okay. It's called Sleep, Cate Tiernan. There's 3 different parts in each book, and it's basically about witchcraft and stuff. The main character's name is like Morgan Rollins, and basically she just gets sucked into this world of witchcraft and basically witchcraft. And it's like basically where she's like actually really powerful witch, and she can do like really cool stuff and everything. Yeah, it mixes in like real witchcraft and then like some not supernatural, but like it is a little extra sometimes. But it was really entertaining. This guy named Calvin, so mysterious, so different. He's the one that like introduces her to like witchcraft and stuff. But obviously there's something more. This stuff was my jam. This is the stuff that got me obsessed. You don't know what I'm talking. I was obsessed with witchcraft for like 2 years because of this thing. And it was fun actually. But this book, holy shit. Cow and Hunter. Oh my god, you know what I just realized? It's giving Vampire Diaries. This literally this is just Vampire Diaries, but it's like centered on witches. Because there's like the two brothers, Cal and Hunter, and they like introduce Morgan, the girl, to like magic, witchcraft, supernatural, whatever.
Damon. Hello, brother.
Oh my god, my life is a lie. Someone needs to tell me if they knew this book or if they've read this book. Out of these four, the best book to read is probably like The Immortal. Like this stuff, this one was really good. I actually read the entire trilogy of this compared to the other one. I actually read the whole thing. It's really good. I read the second book twice. I think the second book is the best book because we know what happens in the third book. You probably don't, but I do, and I don't accept it at all. But read this. It's actually really good. And read other stuff by Julie Kagawa. Actually, like that's, I like her stuff. You guys might say the original Fae writer for you guys is like Sarah J. Maas, but the original Fae writer for me, not Fae, supernatural in general and stuff like that, Julie Kagawa, okay? She knows what to do. This is what my writing career stemmed from. This shit's fire. Read it. Don't read this. Actually, if you like Shatter Me, you know, I don't even feel comfortable reading these books because it's been so long since I've even touched them from my library. Like, they've just been sitting in my library. But from what I remember, like, they're pretty decent for a teenager reading them. And I will still defend them till the day I die. Don't go in my comments and saying how much they suck ass. You suck ass. How about that? See you later. I'm done with the video. Catch me next week. Anyways, make sure to follow my TikTok and my Instagram for more updates about my everything and all that. Please subscribe. Bye!